Thank you.
Thank you. So today we'll be talking about what we call it as CloudFront. Right? The CloudFront is a service that is provided by Amazon Web Services. Now, directly, or maybe instead of getting into CloudFront directly, let's create a scenario where you are the creator of a product, and within the 25 or 50 miles of your residence or office, you got happy customers, and you deliver the product to the food stamp. The food stamp, and they just pick it up and they pay you cash and you take it away, and that's a good business. It's growing. And then people who are far away from you have problems as you cannot deliver the product at their food stamp, right? So what you do is go ahead and create an e-commerce website somewhere closer to you, maybe North Carolina or Ohio or one of those geographical data centers in Amazon or anywhere. You go ahead and create a e-commerce website. Now, people from anywhere in North America or maybe anybody, and if really gets famous, it will become a website where people access it geographically anywhere in the world. But for now, I stick to North America, and people in North America are now able to get your product delivered at their footstep pretty quickly and easily without any challenges. And you also don't have any problems because you don't have to drive, just sit at home and focus on logistics. That's it, right? That's great. But then the happy customers created few more happy customers. So when they did create happy customers across geographies to different geographical locations as well. So it went to Australia, the word of mouth was spreading to North America, people in Germany liked your product. So everybody wanted to get a glimpse of your product and get that product delivered at their home, so they want to use it as well, right? And that's one of the unique products in the world maybe, right? So you scale up to that level. But then people who are far away from your web server as far as number of hops are concerned, they have some problems or challenges accessing your website because they feel that the website is slow. Maybe you have certain content like videos demonstrating how to use the product. A couple of videos, 15 to 20 videos, and when they try to access that, they feel a lot of latency, right? So what you will do, you will be getting a lot of complaints and customers and saying that, hey, your product is really well, we have used it and it's really nice. But then when we try to look at the videos and we want to advance in that product with the help of your tutorials in the form of videos, it's really slow. So the video keeps on buffering and buffering, and those are the kind of complaints that you get all the time, right? So, and deploying that web server across geographies is very difficult. It's not technically difficult, but it's going to be expensive. Because let's say if your website is like 40 or 50 MB in size, the videos will be another GB. Deploying 1 GB of 1.5 to 2 GB of a website or compressed website to 100 different geographical locations will be crazily consuming your profits. So here, Amazon solution comes into picture and says that, okay, we're going to provide or we will be replicating your content across geographies with the help of something called as content delivery networks. So the content delivery network service will be really accelerating delivery of your websites, specifically video content or any other asset that you have in your website. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So it is mostly a dynamic content. So CloudFront will deliver the dynamic content, the videos, so it will support your puts and gets and HTTP methods, it will also support SSL or HTTPS traffic. So these are distributed geographically. So where are they physically located? So for that, I'm going to type in AWS, CloudFront, locations, and I'm going to pick up 2016 because they keep on increasing their locations year on year. I'll click on images. CloudFront may not be the right word. I'll say Edge locations 2016 right there. And then if you look at this, everything that you see, the blue dots are nothing but Edge locations. The ones in the orange are regions. Like a couple of them in the East Coast, a couple of them in the West Coast. There's one in South America, a couple of them in Europe. There's one in Southeast Asia, and they are regions. The ones in orange are regions, but the ones in blue are edge locations, and that those are your content delivery network locations. So you see a couple of them in India as well. They're from everywhere. So people will find it very easy to stream your web traffic into their browser without getting any bad experiences. So that ways they will be able to get the website at less number of hours, right? So that is nothing but edge location. So what I'm going to do now is create a small website, and let's see how we push that to a different geographical location. So we'll scroll down and show you something totally different. Come out of this frame and look at the second frame. It's called as build a solution. Inside that you see launch a VM, and it tells you what services it's going to use. Deploy wireless, serverless microservice. It's going to use Lambda and API gateway. Create a backend. So regardless, you got this one as well. It says host a static website, which is going to use S3, CloudFront, and Route 53. Yeah. So let's see. Click on create a website, and I got one already. It's a new website. Give it a name, and I'll say yes. I'll say myproducts.com. Right. So I give that a name. This name doesn't mean that you have purchased this name. It's just a logical name, just a dummy name that you're giving. This is not your actual website name. If you want this website to be an actual name, you have to go to Route 53 and purchase that name, right? And then do some rerouting or redirection to this place. But it asks you second question: do you have the website already? Do you have all the HTML content, CSS, JavaScripts, and Angular JS, and you made all the fancy website already? Then upload it using the button, or you can drag and drop the zip file here. If you don't have it, you go for an example website. So Amazon, approximately like 38 KB of file which Amazon has created is a sample HTML file. Click on create website, and it's going to pull up all of that HTML content, the CSS content, the pictures, images, which Amazon gives us as a sample, and it's going to upload it to our S3, right? It's going to upload it to my S3. So it's doing that. Now on the right side, you see it is pushing the content of your website to content delivery networks, which is powered by Amazon CloudFront. So it's distributing your content to different geographical locations which are located in all the locations that you are looking in this map here, right? All those blue dots is pushing that. It's going to take a while. But if you're really curious to know what my website looks like, just click on this, get a sneak peek of your website, and that's how your website is going to look like. So it's pretty quick, very fast, but this website is just like 38 KB in size. A zipped compressed version of his 38 KB, but actual production will be much more bigger than this. So it may take more time to push it across geographies, and the time it will take to create this or create a sneak peek for your website will also take time. So what I'm going to do is go to my S3 now and see if I can really find this myproducts.com in S3, right? So I'm going to do a right click, open a new tab, go there and see if a bucket with the name myproducts.com is created, or something similar to myproducts.com must have been created. Yeah, I see that. My products is there. Click on it and you will see all the contents that are related to the website, just CSS, JavaScript, index.html, folders pertaining to it, images, all of that's right here, right? So it's pushed my content to the S3. So if I have to modify, I can modify from here. Now, going back to CloudFront, let's go to CloudFront and see what it says. Not here, but I'm going to click on this box, cube box, and try to find CloudFront. It's right here on the network section, but if I cannot find it, I have a hard time doing that. So I can just type CloudFront right here and click on it. So it takes me there. All right, so here you'll see a couple of them, and you see lots of them here because I've created them for my own personal reasons. Then we will see one of them that is in progress, and the one which says myproducts.com. A lot of things that you can customize here. Go back to it. Let's say you don't want a couple of countries to see your website, right? You can go to your restrictions and enable geo restriction and say, no, do not whitelist it or blacklist this website in that geographical region, right? Let's say enable that, and let's say I don't want my website to be visible in Ireland. You just say that and add. And I also don't want to be seen in Nigeria, right? I don't have any offense against these countries, but we're just picking up at random. So I can pick that up, and this website will be blacklisted in that country. So that means any IP that is coming to access your website will be blocked access to, right? So that's how it is. You can cancel. There are a number of options that you can go around. You can enable HTTP here. The default object is index.html. You can modify that. So just like any other web provisioner like Apache or IAS, this also has those options. Cookie logging is off here. This is the ARN tagging. So just like any other resource, you can give tagging to it. Right? So you can get that done. You can also see, monitoring and alarms, set up alarms just like you do it in other resources. SNS, you use simple notification services to get alarms. Click on that, create an alarm, and the alarm should be sent to whom? So I've set up a couple of them. You can select your email address, and when the requests are greater than or equal to 20 for at least about a minute, so you're setting up thresholds as to when you should be getting an alert, yeah? One of the most interesting feature that I see here, that you can even look at who is looking at your website, from what kind of browser, from what mobile phone, and what's the operating system in their mobile phones. So there's that level of granular analytics that you can do with CloudFront. It gives you a lot of options. You can also select dates and filter down to whatever level that you want, right? So here I can select, okay, I want this for the website that I created, which is myproducts.com. Select the start date and end date, and you can say just update it and download that as a CSV file. We just create this website. We do not know, our website is not that popular. We just created, so you will not see any data or graphs. But you can create one and send that link to a couple of your friends and see if you're able to see that data. Keep in mind that this data is not real time, so it may take like about 24 hours to reflect the real information and real data for you to see, right? That's about an overview of CloudFront. So basically it is just used to reduce the latency between your viewers or the end users who are accessing your website, so they get the best output as far as streaming or live streaming or media services are concerned. So when you're using a free tier account, yeah, of course, all of us get started with the AWS free tier account. You get about 50 GB of data transfer outs and close to 200,000 or maybe another 2 million HTTP and HTTPS requests for 1 year. So that's a lot for you to test and practice. You pay as you go. So what you're actually paying for is in the enterprise account, you'll be paying for the puts and gets and the network inputs and outputs that is happening for your CloudFront. That's what you pay for. So an overview is that CloudFront is designed for somebody who's mostly using media services or streaming services, and then putting a lot of load on the bandwidth. That way it's easier to cache it on their local data centers than pulling up from their origin servers, right? So we really don't have to worry about maintaining those expensive web servers whenever there is a potential spike in the traffic or something, because Amazon maintains a global network of edge locations which are located very closer to you in the United States, Europe, Asia, South America, and Australia. So there are several um, geographical regions where they have their footprint. So typically a website will consist of static content and a dynamic content. So when we talk about static content, it's about the um, Java files, images, style sheets, and the dynamic or the application generated content will include anything that the user has personalized. So website may have forms the user will submit to and log for and search. So you can use the CloudFront as a CDN to deliver your entire website, both the static and the dynamic content. So the end users feels it much quicker to upload information to, right? That's an overview of CloudFront. Any questions?
No, it's clear.
Clear. The audio and the content, both of them are clear?
Yeah, both of them are good.
Okay. That was about CloudFront. Let me continue with another topic called as CloudTrail. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we are using so many services out here like EC2. Well, you know what, even before CloudTrail, I want to do another topic called as identity and access management because it would CloudTrail would make more sense. I thought I already completed IAM, this part, right? Let's do IAM before that, okay? Because CloudTrail would make more sense after we do it.
Okay.
Now let's say these are all different services that Amazon is providing like EC2, S3, RDS, VPC, and I'm currently logged in with my main account here. Main account, which is my name, the name with which we created the AWS account, right? But in enterprises, it doesn't happen that way. In corporates, they will create an account for specific purposes, for a specific purpose, for a specific person, for a specific reason. For example, there's somebody from the virtual team, virtual maintenance team who will just create virtual servers. He has no idea about what databases are, what servers are, what storage is. He has no idea about that, what websites are. So he or she must just be able to create instances and maintain those instances. The person who just joins the company needs to have read-only access to the instances. Person from the storage team must have access to storage only, and person who joined the storage team just today will have access to storage in read-only mode so that it does not commit any mistakes while it just looks at those things. Okay? So
Yeah.
these kind of granular permissions are given to engineers based on their job description and based on their role.
Yeah.
That is done with the help of identity and access management, in short called as IAM. So let's say I join your organization and I join your organization as somebody who maintains the storage. So what you want to do is give me this AWS access, but not at all. You will not give me the root account. You will not give me your user ID and password. Rather, you will go to users section and create a user account, right? So simply you'll create an account, give it a name, my name, yeah, Andy, right? Now, this user account, whether you want it to be a programmatic access or a console access. This programmatic access is more for applications to access, APIs to access, the CLIs to access, and software development kits to access. Not for humans to log in. Humans, we cannot log in with programmatic access, but we can log in with Amazon console access. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sure. Sure, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when you actually go for programmatic access, you will not get a user ID and password, but you will instead get access key ID and a secret access key. When you get an access key and a secret access key, these two can then be presented to the applications. The applications will read access key ID, secret access key as a password, and they will present it to AWS. AWS will authenticate key ID and access key to find out if they are legitimate users or not, and what kind of access has been provisioned to this user. And based on that, you will be granted or denied access to access the resource.
Okay.
Okay. The second option is AWS console access. For now, I will select both of them, which is AWS management console as well as programmatic access for demonstration purposes. The password is automatically generated by default, but I would like to give it a custom password because when it automatically generates, it's always difficult to type that in. So I'll type the password that I know. I will also make it like this: user must create a password at the next login, because you don't want any compliance issues later on. The compliance issues are like, now if I don't select it, and this guy Anand never changes his password because the default password is given to him, and he's lazy guy, he doesn't want to change his password at all. But I, as an admin who created this account, knows the password. Well, one day if I want to get him in soup, I can, because I know his password, so I can, throw a bomb with the help of his account, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. So it's always recommended to check that. The option is still there. If you don't want to do it, don't want to do it. There's always follow the compliance thing. Check it. Next. Now that your user account is there, you're given it a name and what kind of permissions you want to give, programmatic or user access control, user console access. This is the screen where you have three more options. And the main thing is that what kind of permissions should Anand have? Should Anand have, or should this user have root accounts, full access to AWS, or only S3 access, or S3 read-only access, S3 write access, EC2 full access, EC2 load balancer access only? Such things can be given, right? Now here, the first option is add user to the group. Now there are two ways in which you can give permissions. Number one is to assign permissions to the user directly. Second option, assign permissions to a group and add the user to the group. Which one do you think is more easy?
Add the user to the group.
Yeah, absolutely. We would always like to add the user to the group, because in future, if you are provisioning more users, you can simply add users to the group rather than playing around with the permissions.
Yeah.
Right? So you can add user to the group, add policies to the group, or copy permissions from an existing user. So a colleague of his, both of them are at the same level, needs to have same permissions. That can also be done. Right? Let's say Anthony and Anand are working at the same team at the same level, will get the same permissions. That way I can do that. Right?
Yeah.
So regardless, you got those options, regardless you will have the same permissions, etc. So for now I selected that. I selected S3 read-only access. So a user called Anand who will have programmatic access as well as AWS console access will be forced to reset the password and will get just S3 read-only access. Okay, let's go ahead and create a user. Okay, now this is the access key and secret access key I was talking about. I can click on show, and if I click on close, right, I will never have the secret access key again. So first thing that I have to do is download CSV. It's just like your PEM file. Once it is closed, I will never be able to see that again. That's why I have to download that and keep it. Okay, now a user called Anand is created, but how does he log in? He has to log in using a specific link, which is this. I have customized that with the name learning AWS 121. I've clicked on customize and done that. But Right? This is the link. So I'll go to incognito mode, paste it here, and go that. And let's see what we get. Alright, we get a console like this specific to our account. I'll log in, and the password is that. And I'm expecting that it should force me to reset the password, which it did. I'll type that, uh, give it a new password, and confirm it. It's going to give me everything just like the root access. Everything will be there. I should be able to see everything. But when I actually go into EC2, it should error out because this guy has just what? S3 access? S3, that too read only. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So this is awesome. Let's go to the actual S3 and see if we can create a bucket, right? We should be able to see all the buckets, even the bucket that we created with CloudFront. I mean, at back. Let's see what we get. Alright, I'm able to see all of that. That's good. But let me create a bucket. Give it a name. Right, that should be unique. And I'll just pick up some region because I'm sure for sure it will not let me do that. I don't have permissions. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's that. When I click on users, just pick up my name. Right, it's groups. I'm part of some group here, security credentials. Just in case if I forget my password or something, I can always reset it. But then what I want to show you is the access key. You know, well, I said that you cannot download that again. You can create a new access key one more time, right? It's right there. But that does not mean that you can create access keys as many times as you want because that is a limit too per user. Of course, you can contact Amazon and get that limit increased, but you got to make sure that you always document the procedures here, document the access key and the password, because once you click on OK, close that, you will never be able to retrieve the secret access password for access key ID. Okay?
Okay.
So it says that the permissions are being granted through AWS S3 read access. That's it. Let's go and see what's there inside that policy. I want to look at the policy document and see what's inside that. So I'm looking at this AWS S3 read access, and it says that I've been given permissions to allow for certain actions only. So I can get and list. Everything, star means everything, right? So I can look, that means I can get and list. I cannot put and upload and delete. Put, upload, delete is not allowed. If I want to, you can just modify this or create a new one, create a new policy, modify, add, upload, put, get is already there set. So such things you can add up here. Of course, it is in read-only mode, so you cannot modify that because the default inbuilt policies which are given by Amazon. If you want to create one, you can do yourself by creating a new policy. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Any questions?
No, I'm good so far.
Did you do multi-factor authentication?
I did multi-factor authentication. I know about it.
Okay, okay, good. But I didn't tell you, right? Did I?
Yeah, you didn't tell me.
I did, okay.
You did
Okay,
not tell me.
you did not, okay, okay, okay. So
Yeah.
you have done this, right? MFA, you have Google Authenticator with you?
Yeah, I have in my phone.
Okay. Oh, just to add on to that, um, just to add on to that, what is multi-factor authentication? You know? Because the definition of
You can
multi-factor.
log in. You can log in from any device, like
Mhm.
whether it is a system or your phone or any other device.
Mhm.
It's same like OTP. You'll get an password and you should type in that.
So multi-factor authentication is where you're authenticated more than once with different means. What are the means? What are different factors? The first factor is something that you know. And well, you have always known that, which is a password that is in your memory. Second is something that you have, which you were just explaining about, which is like OTP, right? Smart card,
Yeah.
because you get that on your phone, smart card, right? Something that you have. Third one
Yeah.
is somewhere you are, or rather say someone who you are. That is totally called as biometrics, which is based on fingerprint, retina, PTC, PTC, PTC. There's a lot of them, right?
Yeah.
Then some where you are is based on geographical location. Okay, it's totally based on the geographical location. So you are at a particular site and you don't want to get authenticated, then a country can do that, right? So for example, in Dubai, WhatsApp calling is not allowed. So Middle East, WhatsApp calling is not allowed,
Okay.
right? Then last one is something that you do based on waving hands, signals, right? So a door can open when you wave a hand. A combination of these two is multi-factor authentication. So when you use point number one for first level of authentication and point number one again for smart for authentication, then that is not multi-factor authentication. At the first level you use password, and at the second level you use OTP. That is multi-factor authentication,
Yeah.
right? So that is why in AWS, your first thing that you do is password. Second thing, an OTP that is generated by the Google Authenticator. Something that you have. A combination of these two, combination of any of these two is MFA.
Yeah.
Okay?
Got
That is the definition of multi-factor authentication. Anyways, that ends the identity and access management, right?
it. Yeah.
Now, let's say you got a lot of users now, yeah? Now your company has grown and you created a lot of users, 5 people who are accessing S3, 2 people who are accessing EC2, couple of them doing DNS and lots of stuff. Yeah, there's lots of things going on in your company. But you, as a managing director, would like to know who's doing what. Who created the buckets yesterday, who deleted them. Because if there are three S3 admins and two EC2 full admins, then people, it's going to create chaos. And we've got to have some auditing measures which are going to fall in compliance. So it's important to have compliance in picture and auditing as well. That's where CloudTrail will come into picture, and it will help you understand what's going on in your environment with each of your resources in which region, right? You go to CloudTrail and you will see that it's giving you information by date, by time, at what date it happened. It's in the form of YYYYMMDD, what time it happened, what account it did, what policy was created, etc., etc. Right? Now, if you click on it, it's going to also tell me what from where, which IP addresses it happened as well. In that case, you will be able to, get more details about it. You can create your own thing, huh?
I have a question. I mean, like, deleting the root access keys is, I mean, like, it will be deleted automatically, or we need to delete the root access keys.
You need to delete it. Go and delete it. Yes. Yeah. It will be in the security section in your account. It will be there.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Thank you.
So yeah, so by default, it is creating all of these trails and a lot of this information. It's actually pulling all of this information and putting in your S3 storage. You can add a new trail based on a particular geographical location or something. And let's say I'm currently logged into North Virginia region. So let's say North Virginia Labs. Not Virginia Labs. Apply trail to all regions. No, I want it only for this region as I want to know, as I'm the maybe head of this region, I want to know only what's happening here. You want to create a new bucket? Yes, give that a bucket name. And I'll say NV Labs trail or something and say create. That's it. When you click on advanced, it's going to give you options for SNS, simple notification and CloudWatch as to every time there's an upload or certain thing breaches, you're going to get an alert and things like that. So for now, my NV Labs is created, right? So the logging is on for this. NV Labs. That is applied trail to all regions. No. Global services. Yes. S3 is going to be there. CloudWatch. You can configure CloudWatch if you like. That was the advanced option. Give it a tag. That's good. So let's go to API history and you should be able to see things that are happening here in that particular region. So if you create an instance now or create a bucket now, it should pull that up. But it's not that quick. It takes some time, it takes a while to pull that information here. But yes, eventually it does and it's very helpful. So anything that you create or modify, even with APIs or external applications, it puts everything here.
Okay.
If you go to your S3, right? I go to my S3, and there I should see, yeah, go to my all buckets, and let's refresh this page. I should be able to see the bucket with this name here, the new bucket that we just created for tracing out the North Virginia logs. See there? NV Labs trails right there. So all my logs will be created inside this for the North Virginia region. So every time you're doing a query from CloudTrail, you're actually querying S3. So your inputs and outputs, right? If you're looking at the pricing for CloudTrail, it's all about how much of input and output that's going in and out from your S3. That's your billing because it is stored in your billing, stored in your um, S3 here. So billing is more on S3 front.
Okay.
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 I think we are covering up too much today. We have already covered three of them. Right? We have another
Yeah.
15 minutes. If you give me time, I'll cover two more, but I don't want to. Right? Take it some time, let it sink in. So yeah, I would like you to do some labs on all of this that we spoke today, and I'm gonna write that down. I think all of that we did. And tomorrow I'd like to look at Route 53, and that's the only thing that I want to do tomorrow. So for this, I want you to prepare because it will become difficult to understand if you do not know the concepts of DNS. Although I will tell everything, but you will be able to sink in faster, and you will have questions if you read and come ahead in time, right? What is DNS? What is a record? What is a name? What is a NS record? SOA record? Yeah, different kinds of zones like what is forward lookup, forward lookup zone? What's a reverse lookup zone? Yeah, troubleshooting tools like NS lookup. How does that help? Ping, of course, I know you know ping. And
Yeah.
how does domain registration? Have you ever registered a domain?
No, not yet.
Or do you know how to register a domain?
I have watched a video in Cloud Academy.
Mm-hmm. But let's say you want to register a domain with the name www.udaythemighty.com. You know how to get that done? So I say
Yeah.
how to uh, register. Sorry man, it's too late here and my eyes are almost dropping, so that's why I'm not able to type properly. It's been a long day. How to register
Yeah.
a domain So do some of this homework as well. You know how load balancer works. So what else? DNS. It's very important to know how DNS works. Yeah. And if you have time, also look at how DHCP works as well. Yeah. So you have to look. You may encounter a word called DORA. DORA process.
Okay.
DORA stands for Discover, Offer, Request, and Acknowledgement. Give that a shot. So spend your time in researching these things. That way, Route 53 will become a piece of cake,
Okay.
right? Yeah, come back with
Yeah.
a lot of questions. I don't mind spending the whole day just doing Q&A labs with you where you are sharing the screen and showing me problems. And I'm not saying that I'm a troubleshooting guru, but I would like to see what your progress and your interest as well that way. I'm sure you have done all of those labs and videos with Cloud Academy and Linux Academy earlier, but
Yeah.
um, it will just make me happy if you're doing labs and coming back with questions. So that was, we just don't make it one-way communication. It will be a two-way duplex. So that will be more fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, man. I suggest that you do all of this. Find a job in AWS. Great job. Then pay taxes for the country and let Trump build a wall with that taxes. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
fun. All right. So this is um, to do. Okay.
Yeah.
You would like to add something, you've got access to this, so you can just add up something here and we can take it off from there. Right?
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Uday. Have fun.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.